Welcome to another episode of What Do You Need to Know to Live in Costa Rica? Today's topic is what to consider when you're moving your family to Costa Rica.
Hey everyone, I'm Patrick Jager, joined as always by my good friend and business partner, Aaron Bailey. Welcome, as we said, to another edition of the show. Today we are talking about families, and this is because since our last video where we were talking about families, we have gotten a ton of notes saying, can you please make this a topic? So we're doing it.
We are doing it. Before we get into how to move your family, what things to consider moving your family to Costa Rica, we would love it if you hit that thumbs up button on this video and subscribe to our channel. It helps. Oh, you didn't turn that off, Patrick.
I love it when that happens. It makes me so happy.
Whatever. Yes, it would make us so happy as well if you like and subscribe and help other people find our content. All right,
I'm going to do one more of those later.
If I could only turn that off remotely on your computer. Anyway, off topic. Fine. Let's get into this, Patrick. So stating up front, we are starting to help a lot of families consider moving to Costa Rica and then moving to Costa Rica. Everything from where should I live in Costa Rica to what schools or homeschooling to activities and recreation with your kids. Like we're gonna get into it in this video. Yeah. Probably another video down the road we'll talk about education specifically, but this one we wanted to give a really broad overview of moving your family to Costa Rica. You have a family. I don't. I'm a single guy.
Looking to mingle.
Slide into my DMs. Hola at yourpuravida.com. But Patrick has a family. You did not move your son to Costa Rica. He is grown and living in the United States still. But you have I think an interesting perspective, a more deep perspective on this because you can think like a father. So let's get into this. What's the first thing we need to consider when moving your family?
So I think the first thing, and this is something that we say to everyone, it's not just families, is you really have to think about dream versus reality. Like, why are you doing this? Do you have this fantasy of, I follow this Instagram family that lives at the beach and, every day they're surfing and every day she's climbing the tree and getting the coconut that they're going to drink the water from that day. I mean, if that's your fantasy, you are not them. You will not be them. That will not be your reality. They've chosen that life. So it's very important for us to help you think through the difference between fantasy and reality. We just had someone the other day who came with a very specific idea. Halfway through, I don't know, I think it was you, I don't remember who asked it, but one of us asked, but what about the kids in this? Yeah. Because everything they were talking about was what the two adults wanted and what was right for them. The most important thing to know is if you're moving down here with the family, you think first and foremost and almost exclusively with the needs of your kids, and then you get what's left over.
Or not. I mean, you can be those parents, but...
No, and it doesn't mean that they can't all be the same. And I'm being a little dramatic on purpose. Yeah. But the point of this is, if you're saying I want to move with my family, great. You're the adult. You can adapt more. You can, you can whatever. But what is it the family needs? So I think that's what we want to go through today is the things to start thinking through on that.
Okay. All right. So what are the things to think through?
So I think the first thing is, how old are the kids? There's a big difference on where you want to live if your kids are infants or preschool. You can live in almost any beach community and find really cool childcare or a mommy and me group of fellow expats. If they are school aged, that changes things. Are they in elementary school? Are they in middle school? Or are they in high school? Do they have special needs? Are they gifted and talented? There's all kinds of things to think about. Are they already coming here bilingual? There is a German school, there is a French school because of internationals that are in specifically in the San Jose region. And so age is the first thing to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think along with that, Uh, are they speaking Spanish already?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That is 1.2.
Yeah.
They're very much in parallel. Yeah. To your point, are they already speaking Spanish? Are they comfortable with learning languages? Are they young enough that they can immediately go into a bilingual program or even a full immersion program? Or are they at an age where you're going to need to go to one of the international schools that is primarily English speaking? There's a bunch of those too. So yeah, and how much are you going to be how much are you going to be pushing Spanish in the home? That's a big one. Are you going to have them, well, you speak Spanish out there, but in the home we still
Uh huh.
speak our native language? Or are you saying we are also going to commit to trying to
Right.
change over to Spanish?
Absolutely. Yes.
The third one I would say is climate and natural surroundings. I mean, again, we say this for everyone, it's not just for families, but it's how comfortable are you all with heat? How
Uh huh.
comfortable are you all with bugs? My son had such a phobia about bugs when he was young. I have a story about us on safari in Africa where sorry, that sounds pretentious, but he freaked out so bad one night about the bugs in his tent. And we are in like the middle of the Serengeti that I had to go out between tents and get him and bring him into our tent. I'm thinking I could have been eaten, but it was just, that was his bug
Yeah.
abilities. You need to know that when you come to Costa Rica because different areas have different levels of bugs. So there's a lot of these kind of natural things to think about that will help define where you might want to live.
Yes, and I think also extending that a little bit further, safety. Obviously, safety is paramount to all of this, right? You want to be in a safe area. What exactly, in terms of safety, would you consider as a parent?
Well, I think it's, do you feel comfortable with them being on their own? Can they walk on the
Uh-huh.
streets? Are there crosswalks? I mean, it's a somewhat of a foreign idea in Costa Rica a lot of times. People just kind of walk, including on the highway. So safety is the surroundings around them. Do you feel safe at home? Do you feel safe in your community? Do you feel comfortable if you're at EPA, which is like Home Depot, letting your kid run off
Yeah.
and explore. So I think it's the same stuff anywhere. I think Costa Ricans as a whole are very attentive of where kidlets are around them.
Yep.
I see other parents correcting kids all the time, but there is also more of a freedom. I mean, I'm of the generation where we did run in the streets, and I lived in where mom was like, "Be home when the street lights turn on," and you just were out, and we didn't care in the same way. So, are you a helicopter parent? Are you kind of you go hang out and do your own thing parent? So I think there's a lot of those types of things. One thing to know is that people here, and this is true across a lot of Latin America, people like gates and fences around their houses. It's not, yes, it's for safety, but I think it's also the sense of this is mine and I'm going to protect it. I've earned this space.
Yeah.
So you'll see abuelas standing in front of their gate. There are people on the outside. They don't open the gate to all hang out. They talk through the gate. And for a lot of people from North America or Europe, they think, well, is it that unsafe that you need to have those
Right.
gates? It's cultural. It's
Yeah.
not that connotes a safety issue.
Yeah. Absolutely. Right. All right. What else in
I
terms
think
of?
the biggest thing, let's just go into like the big thing, which is academics and school and
Yeah.
sports. Like, what is important to them? Um, you know, the big things we've already started to talk about. What's the language of instruction? What's the curriculum? What's the accreditation? What extracurriculars? Like, if these things are really centrally focused for you, you might want to go look for an international school versus a local school. Educationally, the school system in Costa Rica is quite strong. It's considered quite strong. Is it to the is it to the level where kids that go to the local school are going to be able to transfer easily into a U.S. college? So again,
Right.
the age of your kid will help determine, are you going private school that is about academics that transfer, or are you going to more of a general school?
Yeah.
What's the language of instruction that you want? And the other big thing, driving distances. If you say, I want to live on the beach, but I want them to go to an international school, Are you okay driving? I have neighbors in Atenas that their daughter goes to school in Heredia, and they drive to Heredia every day.
Wow,
I
it's a long
know
ways.
it's
Yeah.
that's a commitment. That's a serious commitment.
I think also we're helping a number of families right now navigate these conversations with schools. And it's, how does your kid learn? Do you want computers in the classroom and iPads in the classroom, which you can find here? Do you want textbooks? Do you want a more hands-on, out in nature learning? You can find that all in Costa Rica. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of where and how. And you need to figure out, how does your kid learn? And start from that question.
We are partnering at Your Puerto Vida. We are actually partnering now with an education specialist to help our student-based families navigate this and navigate it. And this specialist will help not only say, okay, your child has mild autism, so we need to keep these things in mind, or your child is bilingual here, so we need to keep those things in mind, but also down to helping make those introductions and set those appointments to go meet those schools. So we know this is a very important topic to the people that work with us, and so this is a big area of commitment for us moving forward.
And we have more to announce on that later. We'll probably do a whole video about education to really do a deep dive. But in the meantime, if you want to talk, Ola at yourpurevita.com, we would love to have that conversation with you.
Yeah.
All right. What else, Patrick?
Well, I think again that now we start to get into things that I think are important for any kind of family or any person going there. Medical care. Are they of an age where are you going to commit to doing annual checkups and vaccinations and those types of things? And so, do you want to be part of the Caja, which would mean you'd need to get a visa and pay into the Caja, or are you willing to do that through private insurance and the private pay system here? You need to think about cost of living. We've said in other videos, no, this is not as cheap as living in some countries. Education as a whole tends to be a little cheaper. I mean, if you're used to private school in Los Angeles or any of the top 20 large cities in the United States or Canada, it's going to be cheaper. But if you're used to public school in Des Moines, unless you stay in public school, it's going to be more expensive. So, you just have to be thinking through that. And you have to think about also what the currency exchange is going to do to your cost of living for your kids. The dollar is pretty low right now. It's the lowest it's been since I've lived here, and you as well. Absolutely. So you get less for your dollar. So you need to think about those things when you're thinking about your kids. But overall, I think you're going to find we have yet to find a family that is moving to Costa Rica that we can't figure out how to make it work and make it work well.
Yeah, it's all going to work out. It's just a lot more logistics of dealing with kids and education and all of that than it is with a single person or a couple.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other things really that we will help you think about as you're coming down here, if you work with Your Puerto Vida, are employment and business opportunities, the logistics and the moving, the visa and the residencies, the health cares, like introducing you to the schools themselves. Like that's where we come in. We will help you think through all of this so that you are coming down here to scout. We think is very important, but you're coming down here to scout. And even if it's just the parents that are coming, to really get a sense of how will this work for us before you commit to it. The worst thing is, I'm going to move my family down. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be that family on Instagram. And then you get here and you're like, shit, that is not what we have. And we're going to move back. So we've said it before, we'll say it again. We'd rather you decide that Costa Rica is not for you beforehand, or decide this is where you want to be because you've done your research, than to do the in between, which is you come, you commit, and then you leave jaded.
Absolutely. Yep. It's a good way of saying it. And I'm realizing that there is a music and food festival starting outside my window right now. So I don't know if it's been loud. It's also raining. So welcome to Costa Rica, where literally anything can happen right out your window.
I love it. Well, I think that's a good time. You go down to your local festival. I'm going to go
lunch,
have some food here. I hope you all are having a great day. As we've said, we'd love for you to engage with us. Hola@yourpuertovida.com if you want to send us questions. Please, please, please put questions and comments inside this video. Thumbs up, like it, share this video with others, engage with our content. You can also go to yourpuertovida.com/links to get to everything, including our Instagram, our blogs, our vlogs, our websites. You want it, we got it. If you see a topic that we haven't spoken about yet, please let us know. We're always looking for new topics. And thank you for your time on this. Aaron, thank you for suggesting this video. This was a good one.
This was a good one. I'm excited to talk about this more on future videos and with other clients of ours who are considering moving their families to Costa Rica. So this has been a really fun topic. And until next time, Patrick, Pura Vida.
Pura Vida.